ساتوی پسروینو داد شهیدانو کور داد باتورانو کور داد باتورانو کور داد باتورانو کور داد باتورانو کور ساتوی پسروینو داد شهیدانو کور داد کور داد باتورانو.
Good evening. Welcome to RTA News. Today is Monday, June 23, 2025. Thanks for joining us. Deputy Prime Minister for Administrative Affairs Maulawi Abdul Salam Hanafi returned to the country after leading a high-level delegation to Yunnan, China, at the invitation of the Chinese government to attend the China-South Asia Cooperation Forum, an international exhibition. During the visit, he delivered a speech at the forum and held separate meetings with the senior Chinese officials, the governor of Yunnan, academics and investors. He highlighted the Islamic Emirates' achievements and discussed expanding economic, trade, health and educational cooperation between Afghanistan and China. The ambassador of the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan to Malaysia, Naqibullah Ahmadi, met with Alexander Matthew, Director General of the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies for Asia and the Pacific. They discussed the humanitarian situation in Afghanistan, the effectiveness of aid efforts, and the expansion of comprehensive cooperation. Alexander Matthew reaffirmed the organization's commitment to containing humanitarian aid to Afghanistan. The Minister of Public Health held its 15th Leadership Board meeting chaired by Minister of Public Health Maulawi Nur Jalal Jalali. Key topics including improving services by implementing agencies, relocating the cancer hospital, expediting district-level hospital construction, enhancing joint oversight with the private sector, ensuring transparency in hospital accreditation, island sizing, accelerating procurement, and strengthening interagency coordination. To address these matters effectively, Mr. Jalali assigned various technical committees to advance the work promptly and accurately. Foreign Minister Maulawi Amir Khan Muttaqi has called on the Organization of Islamic Cooperation to help lift what he described as illegitimate political and economic sanction imposed on Afghanistan by several Western countries. Here is the more detailed story about this.
Addressing the 51st session of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation in Istanbul, the Foreign Minister of the Islamic Emirate Maulawi Amir Khan Muttaqi strongly condemned Israel's recent attacks on Iran. He urged the Islamic world to take a unified stand against the aggression toward Iran and the ongoing genocide of the oppressed Palestinian people by what he described as the usurper regime.
I call upon the member countries of OIC to stand firmly against the oppressive Israeli regime's actions against Palestine and Iran. If this situation continues, it will directly threaten the security of all countries in the region and have devastating consequences. The Israeli occupying regime is waging a ruthless war against a defenseless nation, violating all international laws and human rights, aiming to annihilate an oppressed people and erase thousands of years of history.
Maulawi Amir Khan Muttaqi has urged the Organization of Islamic Cooperation to use its influence and fulfill its responsibility in helping lift the political and economic restrictions imposed on the Islamic Emirate.
Our country faces illegitimate economic sanctions imposed by southwestern countries. I want to remind you that after 20 years of war in Afghanistan, America has frozen the national assets of the Afghan nation, which has severely hindered Afghanistan's economic development. Once again, I call upon the countries to unconditionally release the frozen assets of Afghanistan's central bank.
Foreign Minister Maulawi Amir Khan Muttaqi has stated that Afghanistan is ready to serve as a key gateway for connectivity, transit, and trade among the Islamic countries. He called on the Organization of Islamic Cooperation to focus on reconstruction efforts and extend economic support to its member states.
I propose that the OIC, fulfilling its responsibilities, should pay attention to the reconstruction and economic development of those member countries currently entering a phase of stability and growth. We are ready to play a constructive role within the framework of OIC's strategic economics agenda in areas such as regional connectivity, energy, logistics and investment.
Maulavi Amir Khan Muttaqi also met with Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan on the sidelines of the meeting. The two sides discussed regional developments and emphasized the need to strengthen cooperation between Kabul and Istanbul across various sectors.
The United Nations Security Council has held its third emergency meeting regarding the U.S. attacks on Iran. During the session, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres described the attacks as dangerous and urged an immediate end to hostilities and the start of negotiations. Russia and China also condemned the strikes and voiced concern over rising regional tensions. Meanwhile, International Atomic Energy Agency Director General Rafael Mariano Grossi emphasized that nuclear facilities must not be targeted under any circumstances. The Ministry of Industry and Commerce has dismissed reports claiming that the Iran-Israel conflict has disrupted Afghanistan's trade, stating that imports of oil and other goods from Central Asia countries continue without interruption. The ministry rejected claims by several media outlets about fuel shortage and rising prices in Afghan markets, emphasizing that the regional crisis has had no impact on the country's trade flow. Let's see more in this report.
The Ministry of Industry and Commerce has denied reports suggesting that the Iran-Israel conflict has affected Afghanistan trade, stating that imports of oil and other goods from Central Asian countries remain uninterrupted. In a statement, the ministry rejected media claims of fuel shortages and rising prices in Afghan markets, stressing that the ongoing regional tensions have not disrupted the country's trade activities.
The process of importing, transporting and supplying goods in domestic markets is proceeding normally throughout the country. No unusual change in the prices of essential goods have been recorded and the rates are by established indices. Reports published by some media outlets that contradict this reality lack official support and merely reflect personal and unreliable analysis.
Furthermore, some analysts suggest that Afghanistan is currently not only reliant on Iran and Pakistan for trade, but also maintains trade ties with many countries worldwide in addition to Central Asia.
Since the return of the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan, fortunately Afghanistan is no longer dependent on a single road, port or country. We now conduct trade with more than 45 countries and have access to multiple routes for importing what we need and exporting goods. Officials from the Islamic Emirate held a conference in Moscow where agreements were made to fill gaps in imports previously reliant on Iran. If conditions worsen, imports from Russia and Central Asia will be increased, which will reduce pressure on us.
This comes at a time when Afghanistan has an annual trade of $3.5 billion with Iran, raising concerns that if the Iran-Israel war continues, this trade will also be harmed.
Director General of the National Disaster Management Authority, Mullah Nuruddin Trabi, visited flood-affected families in the Afghan district of Badakhshan province. During the visit, Mr. Trabi assessed the damaged areas. He allocated 1 million Afghanis to the Provincial Disaster Management Directorate to support the implementation of preventive projects in the affected region. The Ministry of Rural Rehabilitation and Development has announced the launch of a water supply network in the Yah district of Ghazni province, which was completed for 7.2 million Afghanis. The project now provides access to clean drinking water for 311 families. That was all for tonight. Thanks for being with us. Have a great night.
ساتوی پسروینو داد شهیدانو کور داد باتورانو کور داد باتورانو کور داد باتورانو کور داد باتورانو کور ساتوی پسروینو داد شهیدانو کور